Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rob. This is RH Midwest Comics, and today we are doing finally another price analysis. This one is an update, and it's an update on all the Silver Age books that I've done in the past. So, if you remember the last time I did one of these, I did a combined price analysis update on all the Bronze Age books that I did. That was Incredible Hulk #1, ASM 129, and Giant Size XMen #1. So what I decided to do was take all the individual books from the Silver Age that I've looked at in the past and done separate analyses on and combine them into one. So we're going to get all the updates here. Some I last updated in November, while others I haven't updated since May. So we've got like between 2 and 8 months of data for all of these books. And going forward, now I can do these updates with all of them together, month after month. All right, and I know there are a lot of similar price analysis updates going on out there, and everybody has a little bit of a different take. I like watching all of them. Mine, I like doing it because it's an overall value of the book, taking all of the sold grades into consideration. I just think it's a different way of looking at it, and it gives you an idea of the book in general of how it's doing as opposed to individual grades. Don't get me wrong, I like looking at individual grades as well. That's important. That's the great thing about data, is you can look at it so many different ways. All right, so let's get into it. Before we get into our first book here, which is going to be Amazing Spider-Man #1, I want to tell you, just a reminder, here's how I do it. I get all my data from GPA, and it's all blue label data, universal blue label sales data. And I take all the sales information from the beginning of 2020 all the way up through our latest month, which is January of 2024. So 4 years of data we're looking at now, you guys. So how do I decide what grades to include? I pick everything that had at least one sale in 2020, as well as at least one sale in December of 23 or this past month of January of 24. I don't like going back more than 2 months because the data, as we know, can be very volatile. A lot can change in 1, 2, 3 months. So 2 months is kind of my cutoff. All right, with that, let's get into it. Amazing Spider-Man #1, not the first appearance of Peter Parker as Spider-Man, but his first series, first appearance of J. Jonah Jameson and the Chameleon. Anyway, first data point. We're not going to spend a lot of time on historical data because you guys have seen this before. So I'm going to go through it quickly, then we're going to spend more time on the updated data points, all right? So this started out at just over $13,000. We know what happened. Bam, COVID, everything skyrockets up to the high point. So I stopped the chart at the high point, which was April of 22, just under $26,000. So this thing almost doubled. Almost doubled through the craziness. Then we know what happened, big correction, so I'll let it go all the way up to the last data point where we had our update, which was November of 23, so 3 months ago. And the average sale price came down to $18,553, okay? So last time we talked about it was the November data point. We have 2 more data points to bring in now. How did this book do in December and January? You can see in general, there was a slowly declining trend on this book. Even though November was a little bit up, overall it was continuing to go down. What happened in December and January? Well, here we go. December, big drop. January, another smaller drop, with the average price dropping to $16,486. Another 11% drop since the November update. Okay, so this book is really continuing to fall, and the slope seems to be increasing a little bit here as opposed to flattening out like we're going to see on some of our other books. So, is it going to keep dropping? Nobody knows. My guess is from month to month, we may not keep seeing drop after drop, but in general, I think, this book just looks like it's not done correcting. Okay, now you guys know what I like to do, right? Even though we show the sales drop, which is not a bad thing. Some influencers out there think that when we show that a book is continuing to drop, that it's a bad thing, that we're dogging the comic book itself, and I'm not doing that at all. If anything, I'm trying to say that the books are becoming more affordable for people that have been waiting waiting for the prices to come back to reality. So I think this is a good thing. And then here's what I do as well, just to keep things in perspective. I look at how the book price now compares to the value when we first started charting this, the beginning of 2020. So overall, this book is still up 27% since 2020. So still somewhat strong, but I would say, and by the way, this is going to be the lowest overall increase of all the books we're going to look at today, of the 6 books, the 27%. So this is the closest book to getting back to 2020 prices. Will it keep dropping? I think it will. But regardless, still a great book. Next book, Incredible Hulk #1, the rarest of the Silver Age Marvel keys. When you look at the CGC census, this sucker is rare, even more rare than the King. Amazing Fantasy 15. Okay, where did this book start out in 2020? $17,805. That's where it started. I'm going to let it run. You guys know what happens. Huge jumps all the way up to its high point in October of 2022, just under $38,000. This thing more than doubled from where it was at the beginning of 2020. And look how long it was flirting with $40,000. 8 months. 8 months of essentially being at its high point. So that's extremely strong. All right, we know what happens next. Gonna let it go. We get to September, when we did our last update on this book, where it finally dropped below $30,000, coming in at $29,767. Now we have 4 months of data to update. Will the drop continue? Well, here's October. Drop. November. Even. December. Huge drop. But then watch January. Big increase. So I'll tell you exactly what happened here. In December, there was a sale for a 7.5. Yeah, that's right. A 7.5 Incredible Hulk. That was significantly lower than the 7.5 previous sale. I think it went from $84,000 down to like $65,000 or something like that. And it really skewed the average sale price. And then, guess what happened in January? There was another sale for a 7.5, and it was back up to its original, what did I say, $84,000 or $88,000, whatever it was. It went right back up to that price. Now, January also had the Heritage Signature Auction, and that's where this book came from. And we know what happens in those signature auctions. These big books go for crazy amounts of money. So if we see another 7.5 that sells in an off month, I mean in a month that we don't have that signature auction like December was, that price is probably going to come back down again. Regardless, it is what it is, right? We've got to count all these different auctions here, okay? So the data where it stands right now, the average sale price is $29,123. And how does that fare compare to our last update? Barely down 2% since September. And then overall, since the beginning, this book is still up 63%. That's more than 15% increase each year. Your return on investment. That's what you're getting. Strong book for the rarest Marvel Silver Age key. Okay, let's keep going. XMen #1. This book has been very soft. Maybe one of the softest. This, along with Amazing Spider-Man #1, has probably been the 2 softest Silver Age keys for Marvel since the correction started. Okay, where do we start out? Average sale price, $6,335. And we know what happened. I'm going to let it run up to its high point, May of 2022, $20,355. So this thing more than tripled in price. So I think that might be the biggest increase from the beginning of 2020 to the high point of any of these books in terms of percentage, right? Between 3 and 4xing itself. All right, now we know what happens. Big drops. So with big increases come big decreases. So August of 23, this book dropped down to $11,228. That's the last time we looked at this book. And you can see, though, there was a glimmer of hope that maybe the drops would stop. So August was a fairly significant increase from July. Let's see what happened. We have 5 months of data to get updated here on, all right? So August was our last data point. What happened in September? a little bit down. And then October, even. November, down again. December, a little bit up. January, a little bit down to its lowest data point yet in over 2 years. Lowest data point yet. Dropping below $10,000. It's at $9,843. So it's down another 12% since the last time we did this analysis in August. And overall, still up 55%. So this book is not done. I've done a sneak peek at some of the February numbers. This book's not done dropping yet. All right, at least with one or two of the grades that I saw that had sales. But we'll see. We'll see. February is a long month. Sorry, February is actually a short month, but we've got a long ways to go. All right, so this book continues to be somewhat soft in the market here, but again, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, right? It's still significantly higher than it was 4 years ago. Here we go. King of the Silver Age, Amazing Fantasy 15. First appearance of Peter Parker as Spider-Man. Where do we start out? $21,867 way back in January of 2020, 4 years ago. We're going to let it run. Up to the high point, February of 22, just under $60,000. So this, again, almost tripled in price. The King of the Silver Age. What happens next? Falling hard. But you see the slope slowing down here, or bottoming out, or flattening out for sure. So last time we looked at this was also in August. Average sale price came down to $36,415. And if you look at the 3 or 4 data points before our last update, it looked like it was kind of on an upward trend. So let's see what happens here as we go into September. Big drop. Then October flat. November, huge increase. December flat. January a little bit down, coming in at not much less than our August update, $35,700, only down 2%. And if you look at the overall, the past year, this book has essentially been flat. Some ups, some downs, but flat. This book, I don't know if it's going to keep dropping or not, because it's been flat for a year. And maybe that's why they call it the King of the Silver Age, right? So we will see what happens. But I don't know. Maybe we've hit the ground on this one. We'll see. Tell me what you guys think. And overall, over the past 4 years, we're still up 63%. Huge increases. All right, let's go. We got 2 books left. First appearance of Iron Man, Tales of Suspense 39. We started out at $8,354. Gonna let it run up to the high point. Look at those huge jumps in those 2 months. But all the way up to $28,550 in February of 22. Again, more than tripling its price of where we started. And then we know the correction that happened. Huge drop there, that 1 month. And then we haven't talked about this one since July of last year. So that price came in at $13,596. Average sale price of all the grades that we're selling. So we've got a lot of data to go through here. So that was July. How did we fare in August? Down again. Then September was even. October was even. November, a little bit down again. December, a little bit down again. In January, slightly up. Average sale price, $12,404, down 9% since our last update in July. So the slope is flattening out on these decreases, but it doesn't look like this book is quite done yet. All right, and then overall, over the 4 years, we're still up 48% on this book. Okay? Similar story to everything else. Let's get to our final book, Marvel's First Family, Fantastic Four #1, their first appearance. This book started out at $11,033. Oh, and by the way, this is the second rarest book of all the Marvel Silver Age keys, second only to Incredible Hulk #1. And I believe Amazing Fantasy 15 is the third rarest. But anyway, we're looking at the second rarest book here of the big keys. So we know what happens. Let it run all the way up to the high point. July of 2022, it came in just under $28,000, so more than doubling its price from 2020. Then the correction happened. Our last update was May of 2023. coming in at $15,671. I don't know why I've forgotten to do updates on this book, but all the way back in May. So we've got 8 months of data to get caught up on. Okay, so let's go. Let's see what happened in June. June is down. August a little bit down. And then up in September. Pretty big downturn in October. A little bit up in November. Flat in December. And January down again. And this looks like the lowest data point for FF number 1 in over 2 years, like some of the other ones we looked at. But January jumps up like crazy. So January was a very, very busy month for FF number 1. I think there were 6 big sales in January, and 4 of those 6 had pretty big increases from the previous sale. The other 2 had very, very small decreases on those grades, but the other 4 grades, all increases. So January was a big month for Fantastic Four number 1. The price increasing to $16,067. It's up 3% since our last update in May. So this could be a fluke. It may not be. I think part of it has to do with, there's a lot of buzz around Fantastic Four, and there are some casting announcements that have happened. I don't remember what all the announcements are, but I know there's a lot of talk. Maybe this played into it, but January for sure was a very strong month for this book. 3% up since May, and overall, this book is up 46%. So here's what everything looks like. So almost every book has decreased since the last time we did an update on this. The exception is Fantastic Four number 1. Okay, so my way to sum this up is things are still dropping. I don't know. We'll see what happens with FF number 1, right? Maybe it's maybe something different's going to happen there and it'll keep going up. I don't think so, though. But all the other books are continuing to drop, but they are still extremely strong compared to 2020. Look at that. Those, still double digit, in some cases, more than 50%. Almost everything is 50% or higher, compared to 2020. So these books are still strong. The value is still so much higher. So things are looking good. But with the drops that are happening, they're becoming more affordable for some people that are hoping to get their hands on these grails, and that's a good thing. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I just finished the Silver Age books, all 6 of them. Where should I expand to, right? Let me know. Give me your thoughts. What are the big Silver Age keys that I haven't included yet? I know there's Journey into Mystery 83, there's Avengers number 1, there's Fantastic Four number 5, first appearance of Doctor Doom. Should I include those? Those are big time books. Let me know. And then for Bronze Age, what else should I do? I'm going to be doing these videos as updates as wholes now. All the Silver Age together, all the Bronze Age together. Let me know what Bronze Age books I should include next. When I do introduce a new book, it's going to get its own video because there's a lot of data to go through. It takes me a long time to put it together, and it's nice to spend a little bit more time on the book for the first time. And then after it gets its own video, I'll include it in the, in the grouping video, right? With Silver Age or Bronze Age. But let me know which books you want to see next, right? I hope you enjoyed this. Give me your thoughts. Give me some suggestions on how you'd like to see the data. If you'd like to see it a little differently, different books, let me know. Love hearing from everyone. Until next time, have a great day.